Well, here we are. We're actually in a tuk-tuk, which is a glorified scooter with 3 wheels and a seat in the back. So our family is sitting in the back. And you can see one actually right here in front of us. That's what the tuk-tuk looks like with 3 wheels and a seat in the back. We are actually waiting to get into the street where our hotel is, but we can't go in because there is this traffic. Not only tuk-tuks and cars and motorcycles, but also the street vendors who are trying to move their carts and all their things around, so it's very hard to move around. So we finally get into our street, and as you can see, the street is very narrow. And there are vendors on both sides with all sorts of different food and different things they sell, as well as people just clogging the street. So it's a real challenge when a tuk-tuk or a motorcycle or even a car comes down the road. It completely blocks out the roadway here. So you have to be very, very careful in moving around, especially with kids. And this is the street where our hotel was. You can see it's very lively with a lot of people, and it's like this all hours of the day. This is around the same neighborhood, but it's in the same street market area, but this is at nighttime. As you can see, this is very, very busy at night, perhaps even busier at night than it was during the daytime. And the vendors would continue to do this and keep going like this until around midnight, and even after that. So it's a very lively area with lots of vendors, lots of food, lots of fruits, tropical fruits typical of the area, as well as everything you can imagine. You see cars trying to squeeze their way through, lots of taxis, and like I said, lots of things that they sell all over the place. The things that they sell here are predictably very cheap, especially the food. They taste great and they're very, very cheap. This is now our day 2, and we've taken the ferry in the river, the main river here that courses through the center of the city. And we're currently sitting in the ferry and going to the center part of the city. As you can see, the water here in the river is not very clean at all, but the people here depend on the river for a lot of its commerce and tourism and transportation. Because the traffic is so bad in Bangkok, the river is used very heavily as a means to get people back and forth. It's not only for tourists, but the people here who live here use the river very heavily as a means of transportation. Stephanie is leaning away from the side of the ferry because the water is splashing in and the water is not very clean. She didn't like it very much. So we get off the ferry into a small park, and there's a temple right behind where we are here as well. The kids are playing around in the steps. So we took another tuk-tuk, and through the help of somebody we've met on the street, a very friendly man, he recommended that we go to a few places. So we grabbed the tuk-tuk once again.
Oh, I see. Okay, maybe you can have that.
And now we're going around town.
Yes, that's true.
The kids really love the tuk-tuk. I think it was their favorite part of the our stay in Thailand. So the roads here aren't as congested as the other roads. It's wider, a little bit wider, obviously, and it's better paved. This is where a lot of tourists end up between some of these sites. And we're in the middle of the day, so it's not too bad. During rush hour, it gets pretty bad, though.
So this is where the king lives? Yeah. Oh, yes.
More views from the tuk-tuk ride on the way out from the king's palace. So now this is our day 3 and the last full day we had at Bangkok, and we're walking around the middle of town where all the malls are. We've just been to one where they have a lot of street vendors into one closed space. You can see the traffic here is fairly bad. A lot of motorcycles, first of all. The motorcycles, when there's a red light, they make their way to the front of the road so they can get going. This is a very, very strange thing we saw while we were walking down the street. We asked one of the people there, and they said it was some sort of a festival, and we're not sure if it has a religious overtone, but these guys don't look very friendly, and they dance rather strange. So we walk over to one of the street market areas. This area is actually quieter than some of the other areas because they blocked off the left side for some construction work. But that effectively made the road narrower, but took out all the cars and all the tuk-tuks. So it's a little bit quieter here. There's all these vendors inside enclosed areas instead of being out in the street. Stephanie liked the music, so she's bobbing her head back and forth. She's now feeling like she's part of the town. She's quite comfortable. This is another street market area. This is the busiest we've ever seen in any part of Bangkok. I think this is because this area is the junction of the only 2 above-ground train lines there are in Bangkok. Bangkok has several different train lines, some above ground, some underground. This is the only junction of the 2 lines they have above ground, and lots of street vendors and many, many people. Look at this guy just sitting in the street, and people are offering him money. So there we have it.